Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I hope that you're all having a great day and that you are all well. Little side note, sorry if you hear some banging upstairs. I have a neighbor I think he's just hitting a hammer against the wall, not actually doing anything. It's been going on for like an hour. Anyway, to start things off, an individual claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto has announced that they are writing a book about Bitcoin and its history that will include personal stories of its creator, though it's unclear whether the person is the actual inventor of the world's first and still biggest cryptocurrency. Last Friday, a website named NakamotoFamilyFoundation.org posted a letter signed by Satoshi Nakamoto, the name of the author of the notable 2008 Bitcoin white paper whose real identity still remains unknown. According to the post, the book, if it ever comes out, will be divided into two parts and named Hona and Tatame, according to the results of the crypto puzzle published with the post. An explanation from Wikipedia indicates that the name in Japanese means the contrast between a person's true feelings and desires and the behavior and opinions of one displays in public. Further, the post author claims the book will contain information about the personal life of Bitcoin's creator, saying, and I do quote, "To be certain, there are countless conversations I found to be enlightening that I hope make it to be part of the story. There will be many new names and individuals appearing throughout the book in any case, as it is a story about my personal life," end quote. Published alongside the announcement is an excerpt from the supposed book, which briefly recaps the development of Bitcoin and covers new issues that have emerged since the creation of Bitcoin, such as scaling, the concept of blockchain, and the arrival of application-specific integrated circuit miners, or ASICs. The excerpt also goes on to explain why the name Satoshi Nakamoto was chosen in the first place, and I do quote, he said, "I wanted the most common name, which I knew no one outside of Japan had any recollection that Satoshi Nakamoto was the equivalent of John Smith. It took time for the public to come to this conclusion. Most with direct access to me had figured it out long ago. However, whether the post author is indeed the real Nakamoto cannot yet be verified. Craig Wright, an Australian academic and chief scientist at nChain who claimed to be Nakamoto in 2015, took to Twitter after the book announcement came to light, saying that the author cannot give the dates nor technical details correct. There are a lot of people who have claimed to be Nakamoto. Whether this is a cash grab, for those who know the artist Banksy, part of the reason why he has become so popular is that people don't know who he is. They don't know what he looks like. And I think the story of Nakamoto will kind of always live to be this ghostly tale, if you will, of this person who created this protocol that changed the entire world, that gave birth to all these other coins. No one really knows their face. A lot of people have come forward claiming to be Nakamoto. There's just so many over the last couple of years. I think Craig Wright is the most famous of them all, but a lot of people have come forward. I have a strong feeling that when this book does come out, it is going to be a bestseller. So, I'll put it to you this way. If you wanted to spread information or give information about Bitcoin, that's something that you kind of gave to the world, if you will, you would probably just create a blog post and not a gigantic book, whatever. Now, the case might be, I thought this was pretty interesting because just about once or twice a year, we have someone new coming forward to say that they are Nakamoto, and then is usually proven wrong because as of now, what it seems to be is that we think that Satoshi Nakamoto is actually 5 or 6 different people who were working on creating a protocol sometime in the mid-90s. I believe it was called eCash or something like that. And then eventually sometime around 2005, they didn't disband, but it wasn't as, together anymore. And then around 2008, when the financial crisis happened, they came back together, pushed out the protocol, and this is why we have Bitcoin. This is kind of the story that we have now as to the actual creation of Bitcoin. Next up, Coinbase is in the news. Coinbase's institutional product has begun accepting donations, the exchange announced on Monday. Coinbase Custody, aimed at institutional hedge funds and other clients who can deposit a minimum of $10 million, accepted its first deposit last week. The company announced on Twitter. Now the new service is live for all customers who have over $10 million. The exchange currently holds more than $20 billion in crypto assets. It also said Monday, a number the company hopes Custody will help raise by another $10 billion. First announced in November 2017, Coinbase Custody's clients will pay $1,000 as a setup fee. And a 10 basis point fee per payment on the assets being held. The product was formally launched in May. Sorry about that, my gosh. When the firm further explained its plans to work with a U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission regulated broker-dealer, the exchange went one step further earlier last month when it announced that it was planning the process of acquiring a broker-dealer license, an alternative trading system license, and an investment advisor license. Should the license be approved, Coinbase will be able to offer securities on top of its current products. This is what they're going for. We spoke about this yesterday. So on top of them doing that, they're trying to get the broker license. They're trying to actually get some type of banking license and also trying to be a securities holder and or dealer. So this is pretty interesting. And a lot of people, if you may have noticed, the price of Bitcoin, first of all, this has been exactly the same for the last 24 hours. Is actually kind of weird. And I mean exactly the same. Like the Bitcoin price hasn't moved. I wish there was no charts up here. Anyway, what's interesting is that when this opened on Friday, unbeknownst to the rest of the world, and the first 20 billion or whatever, how much was put inside of it? 10 million or something like that was put inside of it. The price of Bitcoin actually went up and it started trending sideways, and apparently something else happened over the weekend, and then the price went up again. And this is kind of where we are in the Bitcoin price right now. So the theory is that because they have actually released this, and it's actually one of the major things that people or rich people, when you read Bloomberg or Forbes or CNBC, anything that when they talk to these very wealthy people and they say why they have not gotten into crypto, half of it is regulations and the other side is custody. If you are trying to put, let's say, $5 billion into crypto over the next 5 years, you are probably not going to be putting your money on Binance or Kraken, but you probably will put it into something that is, I believe they're FDIC insured. I believe they have ever been overlooked already by the SEC. So custody is one of the main things, because you realistically wouldn't be putting billions of dollars into a cryptocurrency exchange or a decentralized cryptocurrency exchange, because a lot of them are not working properly at the moment. So this seems to be the theory as to why the market had a little bump. Let's see if this continues. No one really knows for sure. I don't think anyone actually knows what's going on in the market anymore. Everyone's just kind of waiting. The next step, when I read around and when I was looking around for news over the last 24 hours or so, is that Bitcoin needs to hit 6,700 to hit the next resistance point. And at that point, I believe it's 8,500. And then from 8,500, it's 10,000. And 10,000 should be the next goal. Still not holding my breath. I think when we get to 10,000, I think I'll start to get excited again. But until that moment, I'm just going along for the ride. Next up, this one's actually quite interesting. A group of traditional securities firms in Thailand is planning to jointly launch a new cryptocurrency exchange, a report indicates. According to the Bangkok Post on Monday, the Association of Securities Companies, or the ACE, a body that represents the country's securities firms, said it is in talks with regulators about allowing established financial firms to offer crypto exchange services. That's kind of weird. Think about having the SEC running their own cryptocurrency exchange. Things would be legal, but would you want to put your crypto with them? Furthermore, the association's chairwoman, Patera Dilo-Krug Tirapop, said in the article that at least several security companies are filing a registration application with the SEC as preparation for the launch of a crypto exchange. Dilo-Krug Tirapop explained that since traditional financial companies need to incorporate new systems to protect investors' assets and keep those assets separate from their own work, they may be better off uniting to build a single platform to reduce operating costs and collaborate on sharing innovative technology. ACE said the move comes at a time when its member companies have shown increasing interest in stepping into crypto-related businesses, such as offering trading and facilitating ICOs. That is actually quite interesting. I don't think we've had anything like that from any other country out there, and I mean it. As far as their SEC or security firms actually trying to create their own crypto, usually as of what we've had now has just been, at least in the States and I think in Europe as well, it's been like wealthy businessmen who had some kind of ties to regulators. They knew someone, so they had like a regulator on board, or they had someone from their countries or nation's SEC on board to try and tell them, the steps of creating a crypto exchange. But the actual people who make the laws creating their own crypto exchange, that could either be an amazing thing as things will move a lot quicker in the country, or it could be a massive 10-meter jump back as you. It's very weird. Let's see exactly how this works. I think there was some other news about Thailand that I didn't fit into this video. I think it had to do with them like not being more lenient, but I think being more accepting to cryptocurrencies. I guess it could have to do with a bit like this. If the people who are making the rules are going to be creating the crypto exchanges, I assume they'd be a bit more lax because they would in essence have control over everything that's happening within the country. Either way, very interesting. Like I said, anything that doesn't equate to a crypto ban is always at least kind of good in my book. Next up, speculation time. Cardano creator Charles Hoskin won't complain that his project gets unfairly overlooked by mainstream media outlets, but the cryptocurrency, the 8th largest in the world by market cap, has nevertheless attracted the attention of one of the world's largest tech companies, and that is Google. Hoskin, an Ethereum co-founder and co-creator of blockchain development firm IOHK, was recently invited to Google's London headquarters to introduce employees to Cardano and answer questions about the Ouroboros protocol. The session, the transcript of which was published on the IOHK blog, saw Hoskin and IOHK Director of Engineering Duncan Coutts conduct a deep dive into the economics and technical specifications of Cardano, as well as present their vision for the blockchain industry writ large. Hoskin told Google staffers that he believes cryptocurrency will remove the walls between different tokens of value. He said if gold, fiat currency, and airline miles all symbolize wealth, he said, they should all be more or less interchangeable, he said, and I do quote, and because all the payment systems are now programmable, thanks to you guys and many others, the merchant gets paid whatever the hell the merchant wants to get paid. So I can walk over to Starbucks and I can have my house tokenized and I can sell it. There's a market marker that lives in between fiat, and I sell 1/1,000,000th of my home and I can buy that cup of coffee. Someone bought that from me and the merchant gets paid in dollars or pounds. That is a weird way to explain Cardano. There's no indication that Google's introduction to Cardano will lead to any future collaboration, though that has not stopped such rumors from circulating around the ADA investor water cooler. To be fair, this is actually quite big. I assume that something is brewing. I don't know if they will be using Cardano specifically. We've seen in a number of other cryptocurrency cases when they do talk to these major companies that they end up... There goes the hammering. I don't know if you can hear it. It ends up being that they end up using their blockchain or some part of their technology. So don't expect them to be accepting ADA anytime soon. But it's still, you have to wonder what it would take for a company like Google to even ask them to come to their office to explain what Cardano is. They didn't do it because they like the sound of the word Cardano. They clearly did it because there's something a bit deeper. Same thing with IOTA and other people using their Tangle. Something is obviously in the works. What it may be, we do not know. But this has led to a lot of speculation over the last 24 hours. It's still, I like news like this. Whether they end up using Cardano or not, it's nice that they are showing interest in the cryptocurrency space and that they are willing to actually have meetings with the creators of these coins to kind of talk about what this is, how can we use it, what are the future applications of it. I like the idea, and I'm warming up to Cardano. I like what they're doing. So very good job to them. Oh my gosh, sorry. Okay, last up. $223,186 is the price Bitcoin would need to be in order to convert the entire world supply of fiat currency, industry figures calculated on July 2nd. Part of an ongoing debate on social media, Blockstream CEO Adam Back and CSO Samson Mao joined Bitcoin Think editor Beautyon in discussing the phenomenon of hyper-Bitcoinization, the as-yet untested process by which consumers abandon fiat en masse for Bitcoin. Despite Bitcoin trading around multi-month lows of $6,000 this week, growth would need to be more huge for the cryptocurrency to create space for the entire global stock of government money. Far from the most exuberant price forecast from the next 5 years by the likes of John McAfee and Tim Draper, Bitcoin to USD must expand to trade at $223,000 per coin to achieve extinguishing capacity. This, he said, assumes an orderly conversion without the inevitable hyper-Bitcoinization event. He said on his Twitter, increasing the price would allow you to fit $22 million into all possible Bitcoin. What if you wanted to convert all fiat into Bitcoin at once? This is a price of Bitcoin that would allow you to fit all fiat into every Bitcoin possible, and it's big. He said the total amount of fiat in circulation is $4.6 trillion. I feel like it's a bit bigger than that. Maybe I'm just thinking something else. This means to fit all the fiat into Bitcoin, $223,186 per Bitcoin is the extinguishing capacity. And that assumes an orderly conversion without the inevitable hyper-Bitcoinization event. The numbers, however, can get bigger. The $223,000 number causing excitement online is only correct on the basis of M1 money supply. Other commentators note and pales in comparison if M2 and M3 are added to fit the fiat bill. To cater for the amount of fiat, Bitcoin would need to cost around $5 million. According to meanwhile, Bitcoin bulls continue to pursue current fundamentals to placate naysayers who cannot foresee prices recovering or surpassing the all-time highs of December last year. This is what I'm saying. I could realistically see Bitcoin hitting 50,000. I think is all but inevitable at this point, possibly even this year or sometime in 2019. I could see 75,000. I could see maybe even 80,000. To hit $250,000 per Bitcoin and to have all these circulating fiat currencies into it, we would need like a devastating event. Like we would need some alien attack that would burn all the fiat currency that we have in the world, and people are like, okay, let's start using cryptocurrencies. I don't foresee this maybe I'm extremely short-sighted. Maybe I can only see 5 years down the road, while all these other analysts can see a $5 million Bitcoin. I laugh now, but I mean, we really don't know. Bitcoin was a penny, less than a penny, and it shot up to 20,000. No one knows the future of Bitcoin, but there's a lot of talks about being able to digitize other assets, cars, homes, what have you, and somehow being able to integrate that into the price of Bitcoin as well. Anything is possible. I won't be upset if Bitcoin hits $250,000. I promise you I won't. But it just seems kind of out there, at least in my mind at the moment. Alrighty, everyone. That is definitely going to do it for the news today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are having a great morning, day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Thank you once again for watching. I do appreciate it. And I will talk to you all soon. See you.